All right, we are going to be chatting with Rob Allen. You might have heard of Rob from Kings of Conversion, which you can find him at kingsofconversion.com. Also, Rob has just got a ton of experience, and every time I've heard him talk, and was the reason I invited him onto the podcast, was because he always brings such great information to interviews and really shares all the details. This was no different, right? So what Rob is sharing today is upsell insights, right? To really bump up that average order value along with the details of what you want to do, and one surprising thing you probably don't want to be doing. All right, if you don't know who Rob is a Forbes-featured direct response copywriter who sold over $105 million worth of products online. So with that said, let's get into it and talk to Rob. Okay, Rob, let's get right into it. First of all, thank you very much for being here and sharing with everyone today.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. I'm excited to chat.
Cool. All right, so let's just get into it. Let's talk about upsells for ecom. What have you got today to talk about?
Yeah, so, in my years of working with lots of different e-commerce brands and, having a mixture of a focus on helping them kind of scale their online stores, mostly through email, one thing you start to realize is a lot of these big brands that we all know and love, they are not running upsells on their store, which is just leaving so much money on the table. And, when you get into under the hood of an e-commerce business and you start to look at, the economics, and like sending traffic to a page is only getting more expensive. Like there's never been a more expensive time to be buying Facebook ads, and there's never been, a more expensive click. And so some of those cost structures where, to sell a product to a customer, you may be completely breaking even on that first sale or even losing a lot of money. And so sometimes one of the things we do is we go into brands and we just, get upsells turned on, because outside of this, new world of direct to consumer e-commerce brands, it's a commonplace. Like I come from a background where I'm, I had trained in kind of selling online courses and even working with some, brands that just kind of no direct response. And it just is a floodgate for being able to scale faster, farther, making customers worth more money. And we have a couple tricks for doing it right. So yeah, that's just you kind of asked me what's my one trick to, increasing average order value. It's just getting these newer direct to consumer brands to start thinking about upsells in their Shopify stores, because it's not native integration. It's not something that's built in. You're going to have to go out, probably get some outside tools. But when you get these things turned on and you nail the right offer, revenue just starts to just shoot through the roof.
Awesome. Yeah. And I love this because I'm helping a company like this, right? They've been around for years, but on the digital side, they're not too savvy. And they've, said like, well, we've heard about these funnels and we've heard about these upsells. Like, what do you know about that? Like, yeah, they're great. What do you guys want to do? Like, we have no idea. So let's start from there. Like, what would you tell somebody? Maybe they're listening and they have their own store, or it's somebody, maybe a marketer who's trying to help a business. And let's presume Shopify for ease of the discussion. What would you tell someone kind of to do as far as like maybe thinking about what to offer and then how to kind of implement that?
Yeah. So I see the 2 Comma Club award behind you. So I know you know what you're talking about. So yeah, no, it's the way that I think about it is very much, we're going to go get a tool, and there's a couple different solutions out there. There's Cart Hook, there is, one-click upsell, and maybe a few other providers. But most of the ones you want is the one click after they've actually, entered all their credit card information, all that, because you don't want to make the friction part of it. Just remove that. Don't worry about the pre-sale. Like in my experience, like in doing a lot of testing with, the 50 plus brands we've worked with, the pre stuff is fine. You might get another extra cart here or there, but the post-purchase is where all the money is. And it's really simple, actually, because we've done lots of testing and, we've had lots of clients who are like, ooh, we want to, now that they're buying this product, let's introduce this other one. Let's do a cross sell. Don't do that. Every single time, the answer to upsells is sell them more of what they just bought on a discount. And, and your cost structure may kind of, depending on what kind of products you sell, but we primarily work with like health and supplement brands. And the best offer, if you can afford it and you got the good margins, is to get another bottle of what they just bought at half off, because the unit movement, it makes up for the discount that you're giving to an insane degree. I've ran the math on it and I could show you a spreadsheet with it. If you have the margins and this is a very profitable product for you, just do that. Just turn that on right on your store. You don't even have to be sophisticated with the language. Like obviously having a copywriter or someone like me kind of go in and dial that in is going to increase the conversion rate, but you're probably going to see, 30 to 40% of the customers just take that offer right away. If you don't have the unit dynamics for that and like 50% off is a lot, then a free bottle when you add 2 or more to your cart, that exact language, golden. You're sold, and you're just probably going to increase the average cart value by a massive amount just by doing that right there.
Nice. I like that. And also it's funny because I just recorded an episode with Chase and he was talking about bundling orders, and really using that in there. That was one of the things he mentioned. So yeah, definitely love that. And that's interesting. I actually haven't heard a lot of people talking about that, about really going for the post-purchase first instead of the pre-sale. But I really like the reasoning behind that. Anyone listening, if you want to rewind a little bit and hear what Rob said, reduce the friction. Like you're going for the sell, don't put anything in front of that. Yeah, you can add that later, but go for your upsell first. So I really like that.
Yeah, no, actually, not to talk bad of any tools out there, but we've tried a lot of them. And
Sure.
The pre-purchase ones have actually lowered the conversion rate of the store in some cases. Now you may make up for it in terms of the total revenue output, but because you don't want to, in my experience, you don't want to make like a lot of decisions. One product, and then, hey, do you want more of the thing you just bought? It's such an easy sell. Like the upsells are not the time to do education. Upsells are the time to be like, hey, did you want fries with that? Essentially, you know what I mean? It's like, make it an easy decision, make it an easy yes. And then things get really interesting after that, because sometimes what we like to do is, this is kind of an advanced thing, but once a customer has experienced an upsell and, we know that this is a person who has added a significant amount of product to their cart. Mm-hmm. What we do is we actually move them into a separate funnel, and we say, hey, because they're easy to see inside of your, Klaviyo account or inside your Shopify. And now you're going to tell them, you're going to gamify things for them. You're going to say, hey, thank you for being one of our best customers. You actually took a one-time only special offer. And hopefully that was a lot of, fun to actually experience this, get the product on a discount. Go check out this link. And when you buy again, we have put something as an upsell that you're never going to see again. And just kind of gamifying it. And you'll have super fans. That's one of my favorite things to do, is actually play with Perry Marshall's
80-20, yes.
80-20 curve. And the end of that tail end of that curve is where all the power is. So don't ever turn off your super fans' ability to just give you more money, because in many cases, there may be a customer out there. If your brand, the lifetime value is $150, $250, whatever it is, there may be someone out there who's ready to give you 20 grand. And that one person is going to, give you a lot of revenue. Just keep going to the long tail. That's the thing we always play, is keep going to the super fans, keep appealing to the super fans. Don't try to, build your marketing funnels to everyone. Keep going to that super fan base, and there's a lot of revenue at the end of that curve.
That's awesome. And I'm so glad you brought up Perry Marshall. I'm not sure if you're familiar with a guy by the name of Hernan Vasquez. I was just talking with him on another episode, and he was talking about high ticket offers, and same thing, just you provide the value and you put it in front of the right people, and that's just insane fuel for that fire. So man, love it. If anyone listening has not read Perry Marshall's book, 80-20 Sales and Marketing, go buy it, go read it. So, man.
Yeah, and there's a cool website you can go to, and you can play around with some of the numbers. I think it's called 80-20 Power Curve.
Yeah,
really cool to play around with that.
Put that in the notes. Thanks for reminding me, Rob. Power Curve, awesome. Okay, Rob, any parting words here? Because this is a lot in a short period of time, but I think this is several things people can look into here, whether, especially if they're working or owning a new brand. If you don't have any upsells, going for that upsell first, don't worry so much about the pre-sales. Tools using Cart Hook, one-click upsell. There's a ton of other ones out there, and some other fun stuff there with gamifying it. But anything else you wanna add?
Just don't forget the email stuff. I know you said you talked to Chase Diamond before. Yep. He and I are kindred spirits when it comes to the email piece of it. And you can do a lot of pre-framing in terms of what the person does before they get to the page, so that hopefully they're kind of primed to potentially be buying more anyways, anchoring a certain number of bottles with a bundle, or, anchoring a higher price point of, 92% of customers actually add 2 bottles to their cart or something like that. These things can move the needle before they get to that checkout experience. But then, obviously having those upsells turned on in the e-commerce world somehow is just a forgotten tool for selling.
That's awesome. I love it. All right, Rob, thank you so much. This is a lot of great information. So, if people want to get in touch with you, find out what you're doing, where should they go?
Yeah, actually, the timing of this couldn't be more perfect. We are actually running a free event where we're putting together, 50 of the top marketing minds in the world are going to be coming together and sharing all their Black Friday secrets. So that is the time when consumers are dropping a ton of spending power, and your average order value is going to skyrocket. So your fans may actually really enjoy this. It's blackfridaysummit.com. You can actually check it out. It's a free event to attend, and it is going to be a lot of fun for everyone who comes, because we have like Nick Sharma, who's going to be talking about some of the stuff he does for his D2C brands, especially for Black Friday, when the average order value, obviously, shoots through the roof. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it should be extra fun this year with, shipping delays and all that. It's going to just be like, you got to order now, right? So going to be interesting. And that's great. And I will just say too, I am already signed up for this. So looking forward to it. A lot of great speakers you got lined up.
Awesome.
Cool. Thanks again, Rob.
Thank you.
If you'd like to get the key takeaway points from this episode and all other episodes, just go to oasisoptimization.com/insights. That's oasisoptimization.com/insights, and you can get a fantastic summarized cheat sheet. Now, if you want to listen in on more great AOV increasing interviews with experts, be sure to subscribe via whatever your favorite podcast app is. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, Adam Moody, you can always find me at oasisoptimization.com. Okay, time to get back to the real world. Thanks for listening, and see you on the next episode.